Two Bulls in a China Shop is brought to you in part by our sponsors and friends over at Manscaped, Trade Pro Academy, and Vanta Trading. Manscaped is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming with precision-engineered tools for your family jewels, and with a new and improved 2.0 version of the Weed Whacker now available, it's the perfect time to take advantage of our exclusive offer of 20% off and free worldwide shipping using promo code 2bulls at manscaped.com. As always, that is the number 2. And when it comes to institutional quality trading education, look no further than TradeProAcademy.com. In our free Discord server, you'll find instructions to take advantage of our discount with them as well. And for anyone trading futures, check out VantaTrading.com. Founded by Mr. W. Banks and Baba Yaga, they provide a ton of educational content with the focus of teaching aspiring traders how to build a repeatable, profitable process. Our exclusive discount code for Vanta can also be found in our free Discord server. We'll have all of those links and more in the episode description. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed today's conversation.
You are listening to an entertainment program put together by a company called Financial Ineptitude. Anything said on this show is not an endorsement or professional advice. Would you really want to tell a court of law you were suing us because you thought taking financial advice from two idiots on a podcast put out by Financial Ineptitude was a good idea? Really? Clown hat smiley face.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the China Shop. I'm your host, Kyle.
Awful.
Hello, and welcome to the China Shop. I am your host, and joining me for today's midweek update is Erik from ES Invests. How are you doing today, Erik?
Would it kill you to put a little fucking gusto in the intro next time?
Gusto. All right. God damn it. I can't remember the name. Who are those two people in the fucking Muppets that are always criticizing everything? The two old guys in the box.
Oh shit!
That's who you remind me of.
Statler and Waldorf.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right. I was gonna say some more in the intro, but fuck that. What do we want to talk about today? I got some news stuff. I think you were watching NVDA as they're reporting as we're talking.
Yeah, dude. So NVIDIA, they reported today after the close, which they closed at 305 and they're trading at 382.
I love it when I pull up the chart and I don't even see where the price is because it's off the screen.
It's massive. Massive.
What did they report that was so great?
Here's the funny part. The expected move was 19 points.
Wow.
LOL.
Oh, anybody's sold off that one. Jeez.
Which is, here's the even funnier part of this story. I was going to trade a short straddle, a skewed short straddle in NVIDIA for earnings. Mm-hmm. And I ended up not putting the trade on because I was recording a podcast.
Oh, no.
And the market closed. Dude, that market just saved, or that podcast just saved me thousands of dollars.
Oh, I thought, good Lord. Yes, that probably did.
Yeah. So
how do you even get out of that in that scenario?
You wait.
Like, do you just try to get the shares or just hope it comes down at some point?
And you just,
during the open tomorrow,
just pay.
That's why you put more than one on.
You just pay. Yeah. So if I sold the straddle, I would have to buy it back, and I would be buying it back at a pretty significant markup from what I would have sold it at.
Oof. Have you had those experiences before where the podcast didn't save you?
Seldom, because for this, the reason why I would have skewed it is for any sort of tech, I have a running policy of capping the upside. Mm-hmm. So because I've seen this before, I literally have seen this before. So I typically would just buy far out of the money calls that are pretty cheap. So the trade that I was originally looking at would have been shorting the 305 strangle and then getting like a far out of the money relative before this giant move, far out of the money long calls at like the 350s or something.
Right.
So the trade would still suck because it would be losing, but it wouldn't be like some sort of catastrophic loss. The other thing I'm very careful about is the sizing.
Yeah.
So that, because there's a liquidity issue. So if you have to claw for the door and you're in such a scaled position that if you can't get out, that it's catastrophic to the portfolio, you've already like royally fucked up.
Right.
the other thing you can do in these instances that I have done before, it's grossly imperfect, but in a pinch it can work, is short-term hedging with futures. But you have to try to find something that's like as correlated as you can get, and it's normally not great, is really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
But in this instance, you could hedge via NASDAQ futures.
Yeah.
So, and that would have worked just, again, not great, but it would have been fine. Like the name of the game in those instances is just stop the bleeding. It's not, I'm going to turn this into a great trade.
You're not trying to get out at a profit from when you're hedging. You're just trying to basically have a tourniquet to stop from having to amputate a foot.
That is like the best possible way to describe it. 100% agree with you.
Man.
But yeah, it's interesting because I was looking at the release. I haven't read all the way through it yet, so I don't want to like speak too out of turn. But the language generation AI is like a huge part of their business. So they're projecting a 64% jump in sales to try to get more processors out because of the technology. So it's exactly what you would expect to see. Yeah.
Shit. So I wonder if Microsoft's doing well in sympathy, just as because they own a large stake in ChatGPT, don't they? Or in OpenAI, the company that owns ChatGPT.
Yeah, and Microsoft is up to 319 after hours from 318.
Okay, well, not that much.
That's super meaningful because Microsoft didn't report earnings here. So the fact that they're getting that kind of move after hours is massive. Like you can be pretty confident that tomorrow you're going to see follow through because there was an expected move in Microsoft against the NVIDIA earnings, but it was only 273, the expected move in Microsoft. So the fact that it straight up doubled that as well, like it's a big move.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn.
I know. Really cool. So one last note on the NVIDIA thing. So they forecast an 11 billion in sales for the current quarter, which was above the 7.2 billion Wall Street was expecting. And it's the highest quarterly total ever for the company.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And
so
what percentage does NVIDIA make up of the NASDAQ now at this point? Because I thought I saw something saying like Apple, or I don't know if Apple is, there's like 5 companies that are like, that make the index, like it's extremely top heavy right now, and I'm sure this isn't probably going to help that.
Yeah, so the NVIDIA is probably a third of Apple's input. So the biggest inputs are Microsoft, Apple, Google, and obviously those two combined is massive, by far bigger than Apple, and then Meta. And NVIDIA, I think, is about commensurate with Meta in terms of overall percent. But I can tell you right now exactly what it is because I'm kind of curious myself.
NVIDIA actually shot above, 350, that number you're marking. That was above the all-time high. So it's trading $30 above that in after hours. That's freaking huge.
It quite literally is a gigantic move.
Do you have any plans on trying to take advantage of the increased volatility tomorrow?
There won't be increased volatility, actually. So what'll happen after this release, especially because it's on such a rally, implied will plummet, realized is going to skyrocket. So the best move that I probably would play here would actually be to trade a short-term price mean reversion in NVIDIA to the downside. But that would be like a very, very, very short-term trade, like very short-term, like maybe a day or two.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Because you also have positive earnings drift that you have to deal with, which...
Yeah, well, the thing is positive earnings announcement drift. It's important to note, like, it definitely would apply in instances like this. It's decreased significantly for liquid companies, specifically large caps. Like in recent studies, PEAT is contracted significantly for those kinds of companies. But I would be willing to wager that it would still exist in this kind of move where it's essentially like a 5+ standard deviation move.
Right.
So I do believe that with that kind of movement, it probably still would hold true, even though it largely doesn't anymore. But to answer your question, NVIDIA is 5.2% of NASDAQ. And I was wrong before, where Meta is 4%. So it's not commensurate. NVIDIA is larger than Meta. And then Google or Alphabet.
Is that counting today or is that before today?
before today.
Okay.
Um,
That's probably got up a few ticks.
and then Alphabet combined, class A and C is a little over 7%. So really, Google writ large would be the third largest. But yeah, NVIDIA is larger than Meta there.
Goddamn. All right. Well, there's a couple other stories that I wanted to dig into. I think if I had to
Let's do it.
choose one, though, I want to talk about this. Since we're just talking about AI shit, this Pentagon explosion hoax that was going around on, was that Monday?
Mm-hmm.
Were you paying attention when that flashed? I mean, because
Not at all.
like all the major news organizations picked this thing up. The market spooked and tried to sell off, but immediately rebounded well before anybody could, come out and issue any retractions. I was just fascinated by the market's ability to basically call bullshit on this well before any of the news agencies that were spitting out these headlines were able to get their shit together and fact check it.
Yep. That's literally essentially in line with expectations. There's two really cool things about markets is they're predictive in nature, just in terms of economic functions. And I also think if you ever want to know the probabilities of things, you can always look at insurance charts.
Mhm.
Between both of those, they will outright and outpredict any news source every fucking day of the week.
It makes perfect sense. That's probably why people pay attention to options.
It's literally like that's why that kind of stuff matters, is because you can tell a lot about things based on anomalous moves. It's one of the reasons why you can tell before an earnings release, for example, if some of the information was leaked. You'll see it in the options.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of really cool information you can glean from markets if you can learn to decouple it from all of the bullshit talking news.
Right. Friends, family, and loved ones, I bet you haven't purchased a Father's Day gift yet, have you? Not to fear, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming are here. I'm talking about our friends at Manscaped. They're saving the day yet again with the total package for father figure in your life this year. It's time to upgrade his game from waist to face with this exclusive offer. Have him join the 8 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get 20% off and free shipping with the code 2bulls at manscaped.com. I'm supposed to tell a funny manscaping story or talk about how hairy my dad is, but I'm really not that close with my father. He does like a good beard trimmer, though. But for those of you who are familiar with your father's grooming routines, or lack thereof, then you can start with the ultimate Father's Day MVP, the Performance Package 4.0. Inside this package, he'll find their signature Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the brand new Weed Whacker 2.0 ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver, Ball Deodorant, Crop Reviver, Toner, and Performance Boxer Briefs, and a travel bag to hold all of his goodies. And we can't forget about the moneymaker. Manscaped has absolutely changed the game with their new Beard Hedger Pro Kit for fathers around the world. Included is the Beard Hedger Trimmer, Beard Shampoo and Conditioner, Beard Oil, Beard Balm, and 2 free gifts with their signature beard comb and scissors. This is the perfect gift for those of us who have had a normal childhood. And we all know dads love comfort. If his grooming routine is already dialed in, make sure to hook him up with Manscaped's Boxers 2.0. These are without a doubt the best boxers for men of all ages, and it's sure to give you that awkward moment we all love when your dad sees you bought him underwear for Father's Day. So whether he's mowing the lawn, taking out the trash, or golfing in the sun, these moisture-wicking boxers breathe without breaking a sweat. So get 20% off and free shipping with code 2bulls at manscaped.com. It's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code 2bulls. Make this Father's Day one you won't forget with manscaped.com.
If your business earns millions or tens of millions in revenue, stop what you're doing and take a listen. Because NetSuite by Oracle has just rolled out the best offer we've ever seen. NetSuite gives you the visibility and control you need to make better decisions faster. And for the first time in NetSuite's 22 years as the #1 cloud financial system, you can defer payments of a full NetSuite implementation for 6 months. That's no payment and no interest for 6 months. And you can take advantage of this special financing offer today. NetSuite is #1 because they give your business everything you need, in real time, all in one place. To reduce manual processes, boost efficiency, build forecasts, and increase productivity across every department. 33,000 companies have already upgraded to NetSuite, gaining visibility and control over their financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more. If you've been sizing NetSuite up to make the switch, then you know this deal is unprecedented. No interest, no payments. Take advantage of this special financing offer at netsuite.com/strategy. netsuite.com/strategy to get the visibility and control you need to weather any storm. netsuite.com/strategy.
Another thought that I was having when I was thinking about this, because you had the headline hits, the market starts selling off, then they start to rebound. But like if you were even like sitting near the Pentagon, saw this tweet come up with the picture, and you're standing next to it, and you know that that didn't actually happen, you still can't just go in there and blind buy it, expecting that you're going to do all right. You gotta like there's still more to it than just trying to act on something when you know it's not true, but nobody else does, right? I don't know if I'm explaining that thought very well, but
I'm following you. I actually would probably argue the inverse, though. I genuinely think sometimes a hypothesis can be that simple.
yeah,
I do. Yeah.
I mean that's what we see a lot of the people that we talk to and a lot of the books we read, like especially Markets and Profile. I think they talk about the early adopters being the ones that stand to do the best. It's when everybody else starts piling in that you start to lose your edge. So yeah, maybe that is a good point.
That 100% holds true with essentially any edge. As soon as people identify it and it proliferates and more people identify it, the return potential is naturally going to contract. So yeah, that 100% spot on. That's why this actually segues real quick into, I think, a really important point to hit on, where this is like one of the benefits to being a retail trader. And I think too frequently retail traders view themselves as like this disenfranchised, cast out class that essentially just can't do anything and is perpetually really like disbarred from being able to like successfully interface with the markets on a commensurate level with professionals. And while I get a lot of that, and I would continue to remind people that like retail investors, we are the tail of the dog. But even being the tail of the dog,
speaking of which,
has benefits. Yeah, exactly.
I hear Thor in the background there.
Yeah, one sec. I can. Thor, enough. There we go. Just pause and yell at him. And,
right.
But one of the things is retail traders have the benefit of operating in small markets. And that is actually really, really, really beneficial, because there are lots of places where people like Warren Buffett, they can see opportunity, but it's too small of a market for it to even make sense for them to get in at the requisite scale. A lot of times they would move the price on themselves, getting in, bad price, like that kind of stuff has a place. So retail traders being small sometimes is actually a benefit.
I have the image in my head of like Warren Buffett is the Boeing 747, and it's when he wants to do something, he's got to taxi to the runway and take off, and it takes a lot of shit to move this thing. Whereas the retail traders are like the mechanics running around on the ground floor. They can zip in and out. They can get to where they need to go. They can just have a lot more freedom and a lot more flexibility, and that's what we have going for us.
100%. And the ability to pivot quickly, like I think it's important when possible to reiterate some of the benefits of being a retail trader, so that retail traders don't develop this, we're just fucked mindset, because it's not true.
Yeah, and that's actually a great point, because I think we were just talking a little bit about that before we even hit the record button, about mindset. And like you can choose to look for all the downsides and everything you do, but you're just going to be a miserable person. Like instead, look for the advantages that you have and then start to use those,
100%. Like literally 100%.
Oh, man. Well, is there anything else we want to touch on? I feel like when we hit a good lesson, I just want to hit the stop button because I don't want to fuck it up.
No.
How about Micron? You been paying any attention to that?
Your huge penis?
No, not my penis. Micron.
Is that like the nickname for it, or?
No.
Oh.
No, the semiconductor company that China tried to ban. They banned it shortly after the G7 summit in Japan. It just happened to be after a bunch of major democracies spoke in, quote, one voice on their growing concerns over China. So after this meeting, China came out and said that they did some kind of review on Micron's products and found that they had relatively serious cybersecurity risks, which pose significant security risks to China's critical information infrastructure supply chain and would affect national security. So as a result of that, they have, it says that critical infrastructure projects should stop purchasing products from Micron, but I assume that that's a lot more forceful than the wording that they chose. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot more dire consequences for anybody found violating that in China. But Micron has come out and said that because they get about 10% of their revenue from mainland China, they're expecting a low to high single-digit hit to their bottom line based on this latest development.
I did not hear that.
Yeah, I'm trying to see when this came out. This must have been...
And it's rallying.
Oh, this was yesterday. So I don't know if anything has happened since then.
And Micron is rallying. It looked good today, and it's rallying also on NVIDIA's earnings, I bet. It's up
Probably
69. Giggity.
It's funny that they link this to the G7 summit, but I had a feeling, I thought this was more tied to our ban for selling semiconductor products to Chinese companies that we don't want copying our technology, basically.
That makes sense.
So I would have thought this would have been like a tit for tat for us banning the sale of certain products to them.
Yeah, I'm reading an article now about kind of they're calling this like a back and forth chip battle between the US and China, and they're speculating that this could kind of get out of control pretty quick.
Yeah, there's a lot of people voicing some concerns.
Yeah, they talked about it at the G7 summit.
The thing that really stuck out was Micron's statement saying that they don't even know what the actual security risk is that they're claiming is a problem. Like they don't even know why they're being banned.
That's telling. Like it's all positioning. Wow. The rationale behind China's Micron ban is misleading at best. Unlike logic chips such as central processing units and graphics processing units, which act as computing brains and can process data, the memory chips made by Micron are dumb in comparison and are simply used as storage. The technology makeup means it is unlikely China's allegations are accurate. That's this kind of stuff is really interesting. It's like I have a vacuum, like, a Bode vacuum that has essentially the ability to scan my house and to plot my house so that it can clean my house more effectively. And that's from China.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? Like, could you imagine the security issues there? So it's just, my point, the main point being, like, how far does this go?
I don't know, but I mean, you've got the shit going on with TikTok. The weird thing is, so Micron doesn't even make smart semiconductors; they just make dumb chips. Then, is that what you said just a minute ago?
Let me see. Yes,
because then if that's the case, the only reason to issue this ban on Micron would be just because it's the U.S. chip-based company.
Yeah, so 72% of Micron's business is core DRAM, which is the memory in a computer. So it's and then the second largest portion is NAND flash, which is 30% essentially. And those are rewritable memory devices. So the vast majority of their business is dumb chips, quote unquote.
Right. Interesting. All right. Well, that's something to keep an eye on.
Well, I'm just glad that they didn't ban your gigantic penis, because otherwise your OnlyFans is going to collapse.
I only put feet on there.
I thought that those were goat's feet, but it's good to know that they're your feet.
No, my micro feet. Oh, you're such a dick.
At least I'm a normal one.
All right. Anything you want to leave the listeners with here before I wrap this fucking thing up and go eat some dinner?
No, just say you have
freaking huge
penis and it's not banned yet.
All right, folks. That is going to take us to the end of today's episode. I'd like to say thank you to everybody who stuck around to the end, and to Erik for hanging around and throwing out those insults. If you'd like to know more about how he trades, you can check out his YouTube at ES Invests. You can check us out at twobullsinachinashop.com. Be back soon to insert another exciting episode straight into your ear holes. But until then, sanction this episode with your friends like a Chinese regulator, and take care. Oh, I was waiting for your bye.
Yeah.
Two Bulls in a China Shop is an entertainment program, and all thoughts and opinions expressed in the show belong to the hosts and not of any company, They are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security or investment product. It is only intended to provide entertainment about stocks in the financial industry of trading. If you make trades based on what you hear in this show, you assume all risks for those trades.